Eric Polston's here, and he's going to take us for a ride in the Rambler. You know, one of the things I don't get the luxury of very often is having a cameraman. So today, I get to be the cameraman while Eric drives us around.
You ready to go for a ride?
I'm ready to go for a ride, buddy.
All right.
Is your door closed all the way?
I think so.
Okay.
Do I need to check it?
No, you can usually tell if it don't wobble, you're good.
Yeah, I think it's good. I can't remember the last time I drove a classic car like this.
Yeah?
It's been a while.
Yeah?
It has been since I've driven anything classic like this. The steering wheel seems a lot skinnier.
Yeah, it's a pretty small wheel for a car with no power steering. And you're talking about like the roundness of it.
Yeah.
So newer cars do have fatter steering wheels, I've noticed. You got the look, you know.
Let me get it.
You got the look. I mean, yeah.
I got the look. All I do is got to get me something
You got
worth
the look.
driving at.
Yeah, that's right. So we'll take a ride up here.
Okay.
I think we'll ride over to South Carolina. We're making a border run.
That just sounds
The
like it's a long way.
The other
away.
right.
Oh, my other right. Yeah. Okay. Some reason I was thinking we were going to go back towards town.
Yeah. No.
And what year is this?
64.
64.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be fun to have a car like this.
I really enjoy it. I find it to be quite a comfortable car. The suspension's a little stiff, but you want it to be. And it goes real good.
Yeah,
I mean, I can go down the road in it and be just completely comfortable.
Yeah.
Which is really what you want. There's a lot of hot rods that's not that much fun to drive.
This one here is pretty comfortable. I mean,
Yeah.
everything feels just right.
Yeah.
Even the door is in the right position for your arm to sit on just right.
Yeah.
For easy cruising.
The turn signal has a little nylon thing that's supposed to cancel it. And it doesn't work, and what that means is I wind up spending a lot of time fiddling around with the turn signal because I can never tell if I've got it turned all the way on or not. And it will flash, but it'll only flash if you push it, like if you go one way and you hold it down, it'll start flashing. But you can let go and it'll keep flashing, but you won't tell because it won't be flashing on the dash. So that bugs me. And it's one of those things where they say it's fixable. When I originally worked on all that, it wasn't available, but they're saying now you can buy a new kit to put in your steering column and fix that. But that's on the list of things to do. So I tend to take it out and not touch the turn signal because that way I don't have to worry about driving around with one signal blinking. And most of the time there's not enough cars around here to worry about it. You know, there's nobody behind me, and
they're only for people that let them know what you're doing.
Yeah, right.
As long as you know what you're doing.
Nobody behind me, I don't need turn signal.
Right?
Yeah.
I tend to use them more when there is somebody behind me, or if I'm getting ready to turn it, or someone coming in front of me. You know.
Yeah.
Let them know what I'm trying to do.
There's not a lot of wheel clearance on the back. the you know, the tires are as wide as I can fit under there, and then if there's like a big fat woman in the back seat or two, then when I hit a bump, you can kind of hear the tire scrub back there. Hey, doggies. These doggies stand out in the...
on us, wasn't they?
Well, you know, it's funny. They used to have a pig, and the pig would be standing in the middle of the road.
That back right there where those two dogs were?
Yeah, they used to have a pig. I haven't seen the pig lately. I don't know if somebody hit the pig or not, but those dogs will either be laying in the yard or standing out in the road. And one of the things I noticed down here is that nobody puts their dog on a chain. Down here, they just run loose. So it's really common to be going down the road and see dogs either laying in the road or walking across the road or running out to bark at you, you know. So kind of get used to that. So one of the things I do on this car is I make sure I start stopping before I'm there, because likewise, you know, a lot of people with power brakes.
Yeah, they rely on their brakes too much.
They do, really.
It's like, what are you going to do when you get up there 50 feet from the stop and your brakes aren't working?
Well, on these cars, one of the reasons they put that big fat brake, take a right.
Take a right.
Put that big fat brake pedal on there because that's how you stop the car. You know, like if you really got to stop, you put both feet on
it. That's why it's extra wide.
I've had a few people say, why is there that big fat pedal? I never saw that before.
Well, you really got to stand on it.
That was power brakes when this car was made, you know.
Man, I'm telling you what. My cheeks are starting to hurt. I can't get this grin off my face.
Well, bless your heart.
I have a bad habit of driving and looking too much off into the fields and looking at old cars and trucks and stuff.
Well, you're in for a treat. Just in a little bit down here, you're going to go by this old guy's yard, and he's got a whole bunch. He's got like a 64 Chevy and a 64 Mercury and a bunch of old pickup trucks and stuff in his yard. So every time I go by his place, I have to slow down. And he looks like that's all he drives. I've never seen a late model car in his yard. He got some farm trucks he drives around in.
It really kind of seems like the gas pedals are hard to push.
Yeah, and that, you know, that's with the carburetor. This is the place right here on the left. It's got the old.
Oh, I see the old station wagon back there.
Yeah.
He does got old cars there. There is nothing new, not even under the carport.
No, yeah, he got it's like a Falcon wagon in the backyard.
Yeah.
60-something Plymouth in the driveway. Yeah, you know, this carbureted car, and on a carbureted car, you rely on the spring to return the throttle. And if you've got a loose spring, then it can. I don't know if you've ever seen a car where the throttle runs away with you, but it can cause an accident.
Yeah.
So I got a pretty stiff spring on there, but that's why it seems that way. It might be that for you, we could move the seat up a little bit, you know, if you think that would be better. But
no, I feel. It feels comfortable.
That's one of the things Josh complained about, because, you know, cars without carburetors tend to, that's not an issue because it's all electronically operated.
Right, there's not even no linkage going to the carburetor, it's just electronically controlled, so it doesn't take much to push it.
Yeah.
This has actually got linkage and springs and stuff.
Yeah.
I think really though, last time I drove anything that was in the 60s era was either when I drove my International Scout, and that was only in the woods. It's been since I was probably 20 years old since I had a 60s model car on the road.
Yeah. So you've driven the Scout?
Yeah.
What's that have for an engine?
It's got a slant 4-cylinder in it.
Okay.
It's I can't remember the cubic inch of it. It's the International Slant 4. It looks exactly like a half a V8. It's just lean to the side.
Isn't that interesting?
It is.
This is our lake that we're about to cross, and it's also the Savannah River, and it's the divide between Georgia and South Carolina.
This is the lake that you guys are on?
Yeah.
Wow.
If you went back up that way and took a right up into the cove, that's how you get to our place. And if you go that way, you get to Lake Hartwell. That's the next lake. All these lakes are on the Savannah River, and there's 3 lakes here, Lake Hartwell, and then Lake Russell, and then Clark Hill. And they use these lakes to manage water level for the port of Savannah, where ships come in from China and places like that, and they have to regulate the water level because there's a bridge as they're coming in, and they only got about 4 inches of play between the water level to get the ships under the bridge and stuff. So it's pretty kind of fascinating. We went down to Savannah and spent a little time down there, and they were talking. We actually took a ferry boat ride, and the guy was explaining that the depth of the river, the height of the water, and the height of the bridge are the limiting factors, as far as freight coming in and out of the port there. So I learned a lot I didn't know.
Right.
Our lake stays at a pretty constant level. It's not supposed to rise and fall more than 5 feet.
That seems like a lot.
It seems like a lot, but up on Lake Hartwell, it can go down 40 feet.
Wow.
If you've got a cove like ours, a cove could go dry.
Right.
In fact, I had a piece of property on Hartwell, and my folks lived there, and we had a 7-year drought in 1 year, and you couldn't see the water. Like, you'd have to go down and walk out a ways, like half a mile to get to the water because it just dried up.
Wow.
But we won't have that. Even when it's as low as it'll go, we still got enough water to swim naked back there and not bother anybody.
That's pretty good.
Go to the right here at this fort. I'm going to take you over to a little town called Iva.
Stay right at the fort.
Stay right at the fort.
Yeah, I can get used to driving this car.
Yeah, it could be a daily driver.
It could.
Yeah.
The smell is even different. I guess you get more exhaust smell from the. I don't know. It just seems like It just smells different being an older car, I guess.
Yeah.
It burns gas different.
It doesn't have that new car smell.
Well, it's not really.
It's got that old car. That's the tires. That's what I was telling you. The tires sometimes will hit inside the fenders.
Uh-oh.
But I'd rather have them on here than have skinny tires.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt them really. It just scrubs, but no big deal.
I had a friend that he had a 66 Chevy pickup truck. It had a wooden floor, and the bed inside the truck was wood, but it had was a fleet side truck.
Yeah.
I thought most of the wood bed trucks were like step side trucks, but this one had a fleet side and it had a wood bed in it. And we put too much wood in it for a lumber package. We were doing a side job, and we would hit a bump like that and didn't realize that there was a bolt rubbing on the tire, and before we got our wood unloaded, we flattened the tire with a bolt that was rubbing.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
It was rubbing right in the tread of the tire.
Wow.
And it popped the tire.
Wow. Yeah, they all had wooden beds back then. That was the thing, They came from the factory with wooden beds. And it was really common to put a new wooden bed in one. And they look good when they're new and shiny and polished up.
Jonathan W. He's got a friend at his car shows that he does that has a truck that's got a wooden bed in it that has the image of a dog's head. Looks like a husky.
Yeah.
It's in the grain of the wood.
Wow.
With his eye and his nose and everything, you can see it. It's just like a side view of the dog.
Wow.
It's really, really visible.
It's
just in the grain of the wood.
That's pretty far out.
Yeah. I see all these old barns up here look abandoned, and
Yeah.
I just want to go exploring and looking in them for stuff.
Well, the thing about Georgia is you can get shot doing that.
Oh yeah, well that's what keeps me from doing it. Looking for rusty gold, please, sir.
When I went to Maine, I was out with a young lady one day, and there was a house, and she said, "Let's go look." And she ran up and started looking in the windows. I said, "What the heck? What are you doing?" And she's like, "What?" And I said, "You know you get shot doing that." And she said, No, you won't. But down here, that's kind of, everybody's carrying a gun, and if you go on somebody's property and start looking through the windows, you're liable to get shot.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, that's how I was raised, And she was like, "Oh, no, people don't do that." And I'm thinking, they do in Dixie. They might not do it here, but where I was raised at, you didn't go poking around somebody's place, Besides that, it's liable to be a moonshiner, and you're getting too close to a still.
You might see something you don't want to see.
Nobody will ever find your body again after that, Yeah, it's different ways, different customs, different places, But there are an awful lot of old houses and old barns. I noticed a lot of places where it looks like after a house gets so old, people just move out and build another house.
Yeah.
It looks like it must be cheaper to build another house than it is to repair the termite damage and rewire the house and all that. A lot of pretty good looking old houses,
Yeah.
sitting around empty. And I love to see some of the old barns, maybe with kudzu growing up on them and stuff like that. And that's pretty neat. I like all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
One of the benefits of not having another vehicle is that I wind up driving this car more, and I like driving this car. It's pretty fun to drive.
Yeah, it seems like it'd be really fun to drive, and
I think up here you're going to take the right fork again. Yeah, right here. Stay to the right. And also right up here, you're kind of coming into town, so there's going to be a place where you're going to go to the right. Let's see, it might be like right around the corner. Yeah, where it says 184, and just take that right. I've got a set of old air shocks on the back of this, and I think I'm going to take them on and take them off and put some coil-over spring shocks on the back. Hand me those. I can get them off the dash. I noticed they're a little bouncy. They've probably been on here I know I've had the car for 18 years. They've been on here all that time. But I was thinking a set of coil-over springs might do the trick. At the stop sign here, just kind of follow where that car is going. Because it goes like right over to the main road. Right there, and then you're going to take a right, and there's going to be a gas station, sporting goods store down here about a half a mile on the left.
change lanes right when I get ready to come out here.
Yeah. So right up around the curve, you'll be in the left lane, and there's going to be a little gas station there. They sell nothing but non-ethanol gas here, which is what I like to burn in this thing. So why don't you ease over into the left lane? And it's right there.
Yeah, around here.
Yeah.
Which is your gas thing on?
It's right in the back, right in the center.
In the middle, in the back.
In the middle, in the back. Any pump. All they sell is diesel and non-ethanol. If you want to go in there and look around, it's an interesting store. So we stopped at the gas station back there and bought some gas. We met a real nice guy that's got a bunch of hot rods and stuff, and he said his name was, it sounded like a butler's name. Quint or, dang, what was his name? Quincy or something? It sounded like he in the fancy dancy movies when the butler comes out and his name is Quincy? I don't know.
Thurston.
Huh?
Thurston.
No, it wasn't Thurston. It started with a Q.
Oh, Q.
It's a Q name. Can't think of it. Anyway, how'd you like that store?
That's pretty cool. Filled with all sorts of fishing and sporting goods.
Boy, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know, you could go in that store. I mean, if you're into fishing at all, which, you know, since I live on the lake, I kind of like to fish. But you can go in that store and just let your mind run wild looking at all them lures and rods and lines and tackle boxes and all kind of stuff. It's pretty cool, man.
They even had feed for your fish, and they had feed for deer and all sorts of stuff in there.
Pretty neat, ain't it? Yeah. So anyway, we used to having a nice little ride in the country in the Rambler. We just rambling in the Rambler. Oh, the joy. I'm going to cut the camera off now because we might decide to talk about religion, politics, or women, and I don't want to get that on YouTube. So I'll talk to y'all later and love y'all. Bye. Bye.